Hello, I'm Jared, a financial services professional, and I'd like to take a few minutes to talk to you about what I do. You see, when I first sit down with many of my prospective clients, they have the same question: where do I begin? Many of my clients have multiple concerns that they would like to have addressed: college planning, retirement planning, and some are just looking to protect their family in case of a worst case scenario. I like to take them through a concept that's a multi layered approach I use to help my clients achieve financial freedom, and it's called the financial house. As with any house, the most important layer is the foundation. If the foundation is weak, it could cause issues for the rest of the house. Now, this is no different than your financial house. If the foundation is weak or missing pieces, it can spell disaster for your financial plan. Now, I define the foundation as long term care, health insurance, and life insurance. Without these essentials in place, the rest of the house becomes irrelevant, because in the event of a worst case scenario, your family members will likely need to pull resources from the other layers in order to survive. So, what is long term care? This is a policy that covers you in case of a long term disability. If you become unable to perform everyday tasks of living, such as feeding and bathing, who would you want to help perform those tasks for you? Would you want your spouse, a child, or maybe one of your parents performing those tasks? Or would you prefer that they oversee the process rather than performing the actions themselves? Long term care coverage gives you the peace of mind to know that in the event of an ongoing disability, you and your family will have a choice on how you receive the care that you need. Now imagine you were to have gotten in a car accident yesterday. You're in the hospital and about to be released with some minor injuries, and it's time to pay the bill. Would you prefer to pay the entire cost of the hospital stay, or would you prefer to pay a portion of the cost known as the deductible? I think most of us would choose the deductible, right? This is why we have health insurance in place, to cover the larger costs of health problems or injury. And as for life insurance, I want you to imagine you lost your job. Now, how would that affect your family? It would probably make things harder for a period of time while you searched for another job, but now imagine you could never get another job again. How would this affect your loved ones? Would your family be able to live in the same house? Would your kids be able to maintain their same quality of life? Now, is that any different than when you pass away? Your ability to provide income for your family is taken away, along with the immediate costs associated with the tragedy, including funeral costs, outstanding debt, and any other expenses. This is the reason life insurance is a key foundational layer of the financial house. With the foundational layer in place, I direct my clients to the second layer of the financial house, which is the emergency fund. An emergency fund is easily accessible money that can be used in the case of an emergency. This money is set aside for when a tire blows out on the drive home from work or the AC unit stops working in the middle of July. This fund is also used as a safety net in the event of temporary job loss. This fund is for that what if moment in life. And depending on your situation, I recommend between 3 and 6 months worth of expenses in your emergency fund. Now, the next two layers can get a bit tricky. You see, the next two layers are college planning and retirement planning. But which do I suggest my clients focus on first? For many parents, it's natural to gravitate towards college planning first. This is usually because in the timeline of our lives, our children will be off to college well before we retire. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever flown anywhere in an airplane? When the flight attendant is going over her safety checks, what does she say if the cabin loses pressure? She says masks are going to fall from the ceiling and you should secure your own before assisting others. Well, why is that? Well, you can't help others, including your children, if you haven't helped yourself. You see, if you're attempting to help your child put on their mask and you pass out, well, then you're both in trouble. It's for this reason why I focus on retirement planning first. But let's take a look at each of these layers more in depth. Retirement planning is a huge concern for many of my clients, especially as they near retirement age. I see in many cases my clients have retirement accounts, but not necessarily a retirement plan. And I work with my clients to develop a strategy for success that includes a diverse portfolio, creating obtainable retirement goals, and leveraging tax strategies to help them keep more of what they've earned. The greatest asset in retirement planning is time. The sooner we get started developing a retirement plan, the easier it will be to achieve a happy and healthy retirement. And as we're about to discuss, there are multiple ways to fund a child's education, but have you ever seen anyone walk into a bank and ask for a $2 million loan to help fund their retirement? It's probably not going to work out in their favor, right? It's for this reason that I work with clients on their retirement plan first. Now, when it comes to college planning, as I mentioned before, there are multiple ways to fund your child's education. These include grants, scholarships, loans. There's self pay by the parent or the child. You could always join the military, like I did, or you could establish a 529 plan, just to name a few. I work with my clients to give them a better understanding of their options and to explore the requirements for each. And for the final layer of the financial house, we have speculative investing. You see, by this point, we have a strong foundation in place. We've taken care of our retirement strategy and the college planning. The money that's left over can be used to invest in the riskier side of things. You can head to Vegas and put it all on black. Or maybe you're curious about cryptocurrency. With the rest of the house in place, you're free to invest this money any way you choose because you don't have to worry whether the rest of the house will suffer. And that's the financial house. It's a concept that has helped a number of my clients achieve financial freedom. I would love to sit down with you and discuss your financial house and show you how I can be a resource to both you and your family. Thank you.